Hello, 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 my friends. This is Patrick from Stop Doing Nothing Media with a video I'm probably going to call Automations 101. So this video, as usual, is in response to a problem or a challenge that someone's having. And it looks like today we have to cover the basics of automations, which I love to do because sometimes these topics can be really advanced. And if I walk through them myself, they remind me of the basics and they will basically help somebody else build their business. So just for the record, I run a marketing agency called Stop Doing Nothing Media. Been doing that for a couple of decades, and marketing automations, to tell you the truth, is really my jam. And I think that comes from my background as a software developer, where I'm used to building step by step, complicated processes. And marketing automations just is basically kind of an entry level programming interface, if you will. So this one we're going to do is going to be on the tool Highlevel, the Highlevel CRM, of which we are a reseller. So obviously, if you ever want one, let us know. And also, I love building like automations for like sales teams. So, with enough of that, let's get into automations 101, if you will. So, when you're inside of Highlevel, you start at your dashboard, obviously. This is my training instance. And if you have an agency, please make sure you have a training instance with fake data in it, okay? I put fake data in here all the time, so I can use this for sales calls and so I can do trainings just like this. So, automations is going to be over here on the left hand side. And an automation is really a way to define a repeatable process so it runs the same way over and over and it's predictable. And also, it's a way to do some of the more mundane things in the world that you would normally do, like sending emails, sending texts, changing data inside your CRM. But you can do it. Once you go through the effort, which is a little bit of upfront effort, to define how something works, in the future, when you want this for your business, it's very easy then because you've already defined it. And you can already put your contacts in there and your opportunities in there, and that thing can just happen over and over and over. And where that's really cool is where you stop going from like, 1 to 2 leads a week to, you're going to 1 to 200 leads a week or 1,000 to 2,000 leads a week. Automations scale beautifully. So let's look at something here. How do I build automations? Okay, this is not an empty account. But when I'm thinking about a brand new empty account, one of the things I like to do first of all is get things organized into folders. And I don't have an admin folder here, so oftentimes I will create a folder called admin for maybe just the very basics of automations I will put inside all my clients' accounts. So inside of admin, I would do something like, well, what do I want to happen when different business processes happen? So oftentimes inside of CRM, you're creating contacts. So I like to create a workflow for brand new contacts. So I'm going to go to create workflow. There's all kinds of recipes here you can use if you're trying to accomplish a certain thing, like appointment reminders, things like that. But sometimes you want to just start from scratch. And starting from scratch is where you should really go if you really want to learn automations well, in my opinion, because you're starting with a blank slate. So I'm going to click on start from scratch here. Sorry, got a frog in my throat from the coffee. And here is how an automation works. An automation basically is a triggering event and then a variety of actions below. It could be one action, could be 5 actions, could be 100 actions. So let's create, a very basic automation here, like contact created. And this will basically, what this means is every single time a new contact is created inside your database, this automation will fire. Okay, that's the triggering event right there. With some of these triggering events, you have a filter here where you can filter on some of the information. But for the very basics, let's just stick to contact created for now. We're going to save that trigger. Usually what I will do is I will also come up here and make sure that I name it immediately. I tend to name my automations with the object it's acted on and then the actual action. So it could be contact created, opportunity created, contact updated, etc., etc., etc. Click on publish because just like I'm active right away, and click on save. Now I don't have any actions here, so that publish didn't work. You won't happen until you have any actions down here. So this is one triggering event right here. You can also have other triggering events right here, but oftentimes you only have one triggering event inside of an automation. Now, what kind of things do we want to do inside of automation? I'm a big fan of notes, using the notes feature in automation. So one of the things I often do is I will come here and add a note. So over here on the right hand side are all of the things I can do based on this trigger right here. And the things you can do are kind of dependent on the trigger right here. Excuse me. Most of the time, everything will be available, but there are just so many things you can do based on this triggering event. So oftentimes, I like to maybe add a note in the notes section of a contact. Now, where is the notes section of a contact? Let's hop into another tab over here and, go into contact. We'll wait for that to load. But I come over here and say contact created, okay? So what this will do, save. And now that I have an action here, I can hit publish and save that, and that should stick now. Please make sure you save early and save often. So inside of a contact, we're going to pick this one right here. Inside of a contact, there's various things over here on the right-hand side. I'm a big fan of putting notes in here. So what that means is what will happen then is for new contacts, when this fires, it'll just add a note there. Now, why is that important? I like putting a lot of notes inside of contacts from automations because it gives me like a running history of the automation. So then how do we test this? Okay, let's just run a very basic test by coming over here to our contact list and creating a new test contact with the plus sign. And we'll call it one of my test names. And I love having a Gmail account because you can just sit here and make up email addresses on the fly. So we will add that, save, and bam. That basically has triggered a new contact creation. So what should happen, I'm going to refresh this really quick. What should happen is, number one, over in the automation, I'm going to refresh this also. Over here in the automation, you should see enrollment history with that brand new contact I put right there. So enrolled this morning. And then over here in the actual contact record, I should be able to go over to notes right there. The reason I like to put notes, like I said, inside of a contact, is because it kind of gives me a running history. Yeah, I can always scroll down here to the contact creation information, but as you do different things like update contacts, create opportunities, things like that, I like having kind of a running history over here in notes. So that's a very basic contact. That's a very basic automation. What are some other things I like to do in a new contact? Well, I like to update a contact field. I like to mark these as leads. So I'll say contact type lead. That's something else I like to do in brand new automations. So I'll do that. And then I like to set the owner oftentimes. So oftentimes I work with sales shops that, not the owner, excuse me, assigned user. Oftentimes I work with very small sales shops or sales shops where specific triggers want specific people to be owners. So I may come in here, for example, and set the owner. So again, this triggering event will assign the user, drop a quick note on here, and update this to set this as the lead, okay? And then you could even get really fancy, like, this is where you can send an SMS. You could possibly send an SMS that says, hey, welcome, you are now inside my CRM, okay? So again, when you click the plus sign here, there's all these things that you can add based on your triggering event here. Now, if you ever feel you get these out of order or you want them to happen in a different order, don't worry because you've got plus signs here all throughout so you can add stuff in between here if you want them to go inside of a different order. Oftentimes when you're single threading a automation here, it doesn't really matter what order they're in, they're all going to fire pretty fast. So this is just a very basic automation. I like to do these for contacts sometimes, and I also like to do them for opportunities, and this is where it's really fun. Let's say create a workflow for like an opportunity, right? And this is where we shine because I build out sales teams, marketing automation systems all the time. And oftentimes at the sales team over in the pipeline, you want to automate different things also. So I'm going to give another quick example of this. So over here inside of your CRM, you have opportunities, and your opportunities come from your pipeline right here. And if you ever need to define your pipeline or change it, you just come up here to pipelines, and you can see I have a main pipeline. You can edit your pipeline right here. So again, I build out a lot of these for sales teams. We just define every stage of their sales process, okay? So let's go back over here to opportunities. And so as your contacts are going inside your database, you may want to build coaching or consulting or event opportunities with them. So let's say this guy right here, I want to make a note, or I want to do something every single time that this person has an opportunity created, a business opportunity, okay? So let's hop back over into automations. We're going to go inside of our admin folder, and we are going to, what is that mess right there? Oh, this is another one I guess I was working on. So this is one we're going to base on opportunities, okay? So the last one, the triggering event, was a contact, right? This one we're going to make the triggering an event opportunity. So put an OPP here, not the 90s rap song, but the actual triggering event. And here's all the triggering things that can happen. I oftentimes will use pipeline stage changed. And what that means is over here, oh, I see I have multiple windows open. Okay. Over here in opportunities, a pipeline stage change is when you are dragging these between different areas here, okay? Just that's all it is. You're dragging your opportunities between different areas here. And as they go left to right, you're just progressing in the sales process is what you're doing. So opportunity pipeline stage changed, okay? And at this point, you could just click save and we're good to go, right? Except for what that means is this automation would fire for every single one of these. And oftentimes I don't want to do that. I want to fire these for specific actions, like moving to pending call 1, okay? Because let's say a lead had a particular, this got parking lot paving right here, and this person has moved on to pending call 1. So what I want to do is I want to get a little bit fancier here, click on that pipeline stage change thing here, and come down in the filters and get really fancy. And I want this automation to only fire when something is dragged from initial interest to pending call 1. So initial interest to pending call 1. So first of all, we have to say which pipeline it's in, because you have multiple pipelines, right? It's going to be inside of our main pipeline. And then I only want this to fire on pipeline stage pending call 1. So this trigger is now, if it's in this pipeline, the pipeline over here, the pipeline's at the top of your screen, main pipeline, and if the pipeline stage where you drag the to is pending call 1. So save there, save early, save often, and again, I like to call mine opportunity updated to pending call 1. Okay? Object you're altering, action you're taking it on right there. And what do I want to happen? Well, let's say I want to do something like, again, add a note, right? So we want to add a note, add to notes, updated to pending call, come on, fingers work, call 1. So a note right there. Oftentimes, if I was building this out more advanced, I would probably, I would probably update the note comment up here. Add note, and this is a really good idea once you start getting pretty advanced, because you're going to have some complicated, whatchamacallit, you're going to have some complicated automation. So it's always good to update that notes there. So let's do this one here while we're at it, and pipeline stage changed, and we'll call this one updated to pending call 1. So then what you end up getting here is you end up getting basically your workflow self-documenting is what it is. I have to admit, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just go through and I'll whip them out real quick. I'll test the automation, and then I may go back in a day or two and update the documentation. But this makes it very easy here. I turn on publish right away and mark to save. This makes it very easy for somebody else to come along behind you and see what you were intending here. So add the note there. And you know what? Let's first of all make sure this works right away, right? So let's come over here. Let's go back to our test contact right here, my Mr. PPPPAAA. I'm going to scroll down here into this section for opportunities, and I'm going to create one. So this one's going to be sell a $1 million widget to here. The opportunity value is going to be $1 million, right? And open. So we are We are doing the very basics. So now this person has this contact has an opportunity record on there. So our brand new opportunity created. Go ahead, high level, just take your own sweet time saving. Cool, successfully created. Now I can come back here to the contact and it's going to refresh right there and the opportunity will show right there. And of course the history is right here in the middle of the contact. There it is. But I can also come over to my opportunities and come on. Of course, high level is going to be slow when I'm in the middle of making a video. So anyways, once my opportunities refresh right here, high level, and I promise you high level is not normally this slow. It only happens, I think, when I do videos. I think somebody at the high level company says, hey, Patrick's doing another video. I'm going to spite him by slowing down the entire application for everybody around the world. You know, I really think that's going on sometimes. So while that's refreshing, wow. Well, that's refreshing. Just to really quickly to recap, this is not going to fire when that opportunity was created. You can do that also, but this one's only going to fire when the opportunity. Oh, I see. We do have a little bit of slow. Is my internet going down? My internet okay? Yeah, my internet's okay. There we go. So that opportunity will appear here in the left-hand column, and then we will be able to drag it over to these different stages. Man, oh man, why is this so slow today? Oh, of course, because I have an audience. There it is. The $1 million widget to da 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 da. So now, to test this, I would just pick this up and drag it over to pending call 1, right? And so again, over here, I'm going to refresh this page because I want to see the enrollment history. And then at the top up here in the enrollment history, loading the sub account data. Enrollment history, I should be able to see, what did I do here? Did I not fire it yet? Let's make sure I did it right here. Let's first of all go check the notes. Did the notes fire? Huh. Well, this is actually an interesting case here. How did this not fire? Let's go take a look and see what I did wrong. So I'm going to add my note. It's very possible there's a little bit of a lag in the system right now. Main pipeline, pending call 1. That all looks okay. Of course, save early, save often. Let's come over here now. Let's refresh this. I think this just must be a lagging kind of thing going on. Maybe I hit a time for my a time where my automations aren't firing really fast, which doesn't really bother me. It's okay. Contact created. That's still the only one there. And then let's come over here and see enrollment history. Okay. I'm going to pause this for a second while I try to figure out what the heck's going on. Okay, and we are back. I don't know what the time said. I don't know how long we were paused, but the automation was working fine. I just think high level was a little bit slow there, and I wasn't going to restart the training for you. So basically, that's what the automation does. I just created. When it's dragged from initial interest to pending call 1, I just added a note. Excuse me. Whoops. I was over on Facebook checking something. I just added a note over here inside the record. So that's the very basics of an automation. Now you can get really advanced in these automations. I want to tell you some of the automations I always create. I actually usually create an automation for every stage of a sales pipeline over here, because I may want to add notes, but I may want to do things. And this is where you get really fancy. And here's an example I was working on for somebody. I actually have in my main account, I actually have it set up for sales teams. And again, this is something we roll out for other people, to when an opportunity is dragged over here, the automation actually sends a contract to the person, because I set up, contract templates over here under payments. You have your contract templates. As long as you have a contract template over here and it's standard language, you can actually use that in an automation. So oftentimes, so my automation might get really fancy right here, like updated to, let's do this one. You know what, we'll do another one right off the cuff here. I like doing these, and if you really get good at this, if you really get good at this, they really don't take long. Our team does this all day long. So again, opportunities in pipeline. This is one. This is the last example I'll give you here, and because otherwise this video will go on forever. So we'll say that an opportunity is dragged to send contract. Okay, send contract. Save. Of course, we're going to add a note, right? Updated to send contract. And then this is where it gets really cool. You can actually go and send the contract right here. So where is it? Send documents and contracts from the user right here. And we'll use, this is obviously be one of my product templates right here. You can send the contract right there. And oh, this is what's going to be really cool. So because here's our pipeline, right? Over here, this is our pipeline. Send contract, pending contract. Wouldn't it be cool if you could just move the opportunity automatically over to pending contract? So you've had the phone call, you've closed the deal, you send them the contract, you drag this over, sends them the contract. You don't have to email them at all. The email happens automatically. And let's just move that over to pending contract while we're at it. So we're going to go update the opportunity. We're going to do it in the main pipeline, and we are going to send it to pending contract right there. Okay? That's all you got to do. Should be able to save that, publish, save. There you go. So what this means, and again, this is a pretty fancy one, and they can get really a lot fancier also. What this means is I can now drag this over to pending contract. As a matter of fact, let's give that a, you know what? If I believe for the most part, this automation should work inside my test account. I've done this demo before. So let's do that. Let's send a contract. Let's put this back over here, okay? And let's get these ones out of the way for demo purposes. And then let's send the contract to this contact right here. So what should happen is I'm going to get out my phone with you watching me on camera and check my email real quick. So let's see, did I get a contract email? I believe I got a contract email. There we go. Got a contract email sent to me right there. And then, watch this. Then, number one, we should be able to see the enrollment history right here, right? So there we go. There's the enrollment history. By the way, the execution log gives you all the detail of it right here. So these are the detailed steps. Enrollment history is just the fact that which single contacts were enrolled in there. And now, let's watch this. You think it'll work? What are the odds it'll work? What are the odds? Where'd my opportunity go? Oh, sometimes you do have to refresh the browser. With browser-based apps, that's just the way it's worked. But if I did my work right, bam, pending contract. Who's the man? I'm the man. So there's a quick demo of just some very basic automations you can create, but hopefully this will get you in the mindset of understanding a triggering event and what you want to update. And again, I can't put myself out enough. We build these here at Stop Doing Nothing Media. So if you ever want something like this, let us know. We build these out for sales teams or my really fun ones. We just build automations all day long. I love this stuff. Hopefully this will help you in your business today. And if not, let me know. I'll make another video for you. Take care.